So this past week was the first time in probably 2 years that I've been to a movie theater, and I was fortunate enough to go watch Black Widow with my fellow junkies. Yeah. It reminded me of the first time I ever gone to the movies. It was back in 1998, and I was watching the Rugrats movie because it was the only thing I was allowed to watch as an 8-year-old. And I'm wondering, what was the first movie you guys ever watched at the theater?
The first movie I remember watching in the theater was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze, I believe.
Is that the one with Go Turtles? Wait,
yes.
no.
Yeah, Go Ninja, Go Ninja. Yeah, with Vanilla Ice,
yeah,
of course. So, and that's actually why I remember it, is because I was with my brother and we were like the only people in the movie theater, and he loves to tell the story of little me. I think I was 4 or 5 years old. It came out like 91 or 92. And so it was just us, and I was just dancing around the movie theater to that Vanilla Ice song. It was like my favorite song that year.
Slaps.
Dude, it still does. Yeah. So that was my first movie theater experience that I can remember.
Nice. Shauna?
My first movie experience was seeing Beauty and the Beast with my mom. No idea what year that would have been. I was born in 89.
Okay, so this
sometime in the early 90s.
Animated original Beauty and...
Yep, I saw the Emma Watson Beauty and the Beast was my first time. Like 2 years ago. No, this was the animated one. And I remember going grocery shopping afterwards immediately and telling her, like, I want to see it again. And she's like, soon. We can go see it again soon. So that's always a nice memory for me. Yours was probably like High School Musical or something, wasn't it?
No, I don't remember the very first one, but I know it has to be a very early one for me. Flubber with Robin Williams.
Nice.
I only remember that because my mom always tells stories that my sister threw up in the theater, so we had to leave.
Oh, no.
I don't remember a thing about the movie or the theater like actually being there, so that's why I don't remember, but that probably has to be one of my first ones because Flubber probably came out when I was super young and...
So like an infant?
Yeah, right. I'm going to say like 96 or something,
Let's see.
right?
I wasn't even born in 96.
For some reason, I thought it was sooner than that.
90. She was in the womb.
Okay. Well, maybe I'm wrong because it came out in 97 and I was born in 97. Oh, well, I was a month old.
There you
so
go.
Maybe I was a month old in
your
the movie
mom
theater.
took a 1-month-old infant to the movies.
Oh,
Can you remember this? You're like a super baby.
Yeah.
She remembers her own birth.
I'm the next Marvel superhero.
To be fair,
So
Flubber
So
is a
messy.
really memorable movie.
Yeah,
like
this
Robin
is
Williams put in the work. He understood the
Especially when your
assignment.
sister throws up.
That's true.
I remember seeing Dumb and Dumber with my family at some point, and they brought me to the theater, and I got so scared at the part where they punch into the chef's heart and then rip it out that I started crying, and my family, we all had to leave the theater because I was just so traumatized.
See, that's
by
why
that.
you don't bring kids to the movies.
Right. So I'm sorry anybody in that theater with me.
Vomit and crying. Vomit and tears. You
Vomit
don't
and
need it.
tears.
Coming in hot from Olympus Games in Mesa, Arizona.
It's the Pop Culture Junkie Podcast.
Yo, what's good in the neighborhood? It's your boy Alexander, a.k.a. Big Al, a.k.a. Mr. Ace, a.k.a. the guy with the pants and the shirt.
Has anyone ever called you any of that?
It's 3, how many did I say? It's
Like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
all right, so it's 4, what's that game? 2 and a lot, 2, 1
Two
lie?
truths and a lie.
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
so it's,
One of those is fake.
yeah, one of those is.
Well, I'm going to call you guy with the pants and the shirt from now on.
Everyone else around here is naked, so it's...
Oh, man. But yeah, you're listening to the Pop Culture Junkie Podcast. And as I mentioned, it's me, Alex, and I am here with my fellow junkies. I'm going to go ahead and let them introduce themselves.
It's Nicole.
Shauna.
And Hayley, it's good to be back.
Hi, Hayley.
Yes.
We missed you.
Welcome
Thank
back.
you. It's good to be here, you guys.
Wasn't the same without you.
It was
No.
not.
Appreciate it.
Things were much less brave.
Yeah, thanks. No, for real.
It's what I bring.
You're the bravest, most Hayleyest junkie of them all. And we're just happy you're here. And I don't know if you can sense in my voice, but I am super amped right now because we are actually in person and I'm wearing pants, actually.
Yes.
And we're here. Special shout out to Olympus Games in Mesa.
Mesa, Arizona.
Mesa, Arizona. We're here. We're live. Well, recording. You'll hear.
We are all alive sitting in here right now.
Yeah, but this is our new home, Olympus Games, and it's a really cool spot. I took a tour. They have games, comics, anime, and then some. They got
a podcast studio, right?
Yeah, that's how we're here. And
awesome.
they have some events coming up, like an anime convention and all these like really cool things. And it just feels like it works.
It feels like the right spot to record. Like watching like Alex right now, there's this big shelf behind him and it's full of Pokemon memorabilia and like some Batman like action figures. And it feels like I'm in my office right now. So it's perfect.
Oh, that's a pretty cool office.
Except for I'm wearing makeup and a bra. So.
No, we all got clothes on. We all got clothes on today. But now that I got to express all my joy, let's get into the news and the headlines. Why won't we? So I know that there's been some love brewing this week, and I think we have Nicole with some of Cupid's updates up in Hollywood. Nicole?
So I don't know if it's so much Cupid as the devil coming in this one. But if you have been following anything Kardashian family, as I know the whole world has, because who doesn't love the Kardashians?
Me.
Yeah, I know a lot of people,
continue.
but that's okay. So Lamar Odom and Tristan Thompson are obviously both of Khloe Kardashian's ex. Lamar Odom and her were married for quite some time. Long time in Hollywood, I would say. And then her and
6
Tristan...
months.
Yeah, exactly. So her and Tristan Thompson obviously had baby True. And recently, Khloe posted a bikini picture on Instagram.
Ow!
Scandalous.
Yeah, she looks very good, very good. And Lamar Odom commented and wrote hottie with a bunch of different emojis after it.
On his ex's Instagram?
Yes.
Yo, any of my
Wait a
exes
second.
listening, do not do that.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
I'd be creeped out.
It's okay if you think it because it's true,
Okay.
but don't comment it.
Love the confidence, but it's true, yes. And then Tristan Thompson saw the comment and commented back to that comment and said, God brought you back the first time. Play if you want to, different results.
Ooh, those are fighting
Kind
words.
of referencing his overdose and him surviving.
Yikes.
That is what a lot of people are getting from that comment.
Why would he say that?
I personally did not get it from that comment. I thought he meant God brought you back the first time, and then like he let
Into
you
her
have her
life?
once, try again. But now a lot of people are speculating that he was talking about his fatal overdose in
Near fatal.
October of 2015. Near fatal, yes, thank you.
Wow, that's savage.
And then I guess Lamar Odom eventually deleted his comment on the post, and this feud is still going on Twitter. And a lot of people are speculating that either Lamar and Khloe are trying to talk with one another again, or Khloe and Tristan are talking to each other again, because what kind of exes would comment on their ex's picture
Like both
and
of you
stuff
are,
like
neither
that?
of you are with her anymore. Why does it even matter?
Yeah.
Do they have
exactly.
kids with her?
Only Tristan does. Tristan
Oh,
and
what?
Khloe have True, but Tristan has cheated on Khloe multiple
Yeah,
times.
I've heard of this.
And Lamar treated her kind of like crap in a way because, I don't know, not like because of his drug stuff. It could have been, but like just didn't really treat her the way that she should be treated. So it's like, what side of the court do you want to play on? Sorry.
Was that a basketball
What side of the court
reference?
do you want to play on? It.
Hey, I got you. I got you, girl.
sports.
I wasn't trying to, but it worked, didn't it?
She's got sports jokes. Like,
Yes, a sports journalism in me. But yeah,
I ship Lamar and Tristan. It sounds like they're just kind of gunning for each other.
Mm.
I'm throwing that out into the universe.
Oh, I
Ship
think,
it.
yeah, I sense this. Yeah.
I ship it. There's some sexual tension there. Or maybe it's just pettiness. I get those two confused a lot.
So yeah, I don't think that's really Cupid in talks, but
Yeah. Sorry, Cupid. Next shift. But no, actually, I've heard of some like intergalactic love going on, and I'm talking about billionaires being obsessed with getting into space.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So if you haven't heard, this past weekend, Sir Richard Branson, the English business magnate, as referred on Wikipedia, He's the founder of the Virgin Group. Virgin Group being Virgin Records, Virgin Atlantic
Got
Airways.
it. Okay.
Virgin Mobile?
Yeah,
I think so.
I think they had a phone thing for a
Yeah,
while.
I think
did.
you're right. Yeah.
And Virgin Galactic, which is the company that put together a spaceship that brought him to space. So the event featured late night's Stephen Colbert, and he narrated parts of the adventure. I only got the ending. Yeah, well, I got the ending, and he was pretty much closing it out. And he was like, oh, yeah, Richard Branson, he went up to space and let us know how it feels to like not have him on Earth. It was funny to have him there. But it was just, it's amazing to me how these billionaires are all really trying to like get to space. And I mean, I remember back in high school in 2004 when Virgin Galactic was like, oh, we're going to commercialize space travel. So it's not like old news, but because Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, like he's preparing to go to space sometime soon.
I am just not here for this like rich white dude dick measuring competition. They have so much freaking money and there's so many better things they could be doing. I mean, I guess it's kind of cool. Like space is cool. I'm not anti-space.
Oh yeah, I love space. I'd love to go to space. But I mean, what is there to do in space? I mean, they're not doing anything. They're just, floating for like a few minutes and
they're
then coming
dropping
back down.
$250,000 a ticket, I think. It's if once it starts being like regular people like us.
Yeah,
you
I
just
had to
have
laugh
an extra
at
$250,000.
the comments like today when they're like, we're making space travel accessible for the average. I'm like, for the same people who like a yacht is accessible or, like a multi-billion-dollar mansion, like accessible to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like you keep using that word and I don't think it means what you think it means.
I think you know what it means. For all of us defaulting on our student loans, going to space ain't accessible for us, dudes.
There's this TikToker I follow. Her name is Anna. And she got invited to the launch event type thing. They like flew her out and everything. And she was there and she recorded the, whatever you call it, the rocket or whatever going up. And I'm like, wow, they spent so much money on her to fly out there for a 5-second thing.
That's literally all it is. Because it's not like you can travel to the moon in this commercialized spacecraft.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, or Mars. I mean, I heard Elon Musk wants to go to Mars, but who knows if that is going to happen anytime soon.
It's just like solve the water crisis, go to Mars, like priorities,
Exactly. I think they fly to, quote, the edge of space.
Yeah.
So they get there and then they hit it and they're like, cool, and then dip back down. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, but in other news, Netflix is releasing the entire Twilight saga for all those Twilight fans.
We're called Twihards. Thank you very much.
Twihards? Oh, see, I didn't know that's what that was. And so that's going to be streaming this week on Netflix. And they're also going to be releasing the third part of Fear Street. Yeah. The first two was 1994 and 1978. They've been topping the Netflix charts since they've been released this month. And so the next one, I think, is kind of like an origin story, and it takes place in 1666. So, yeah, I'm pretty...
Back when, like, the witch really started and stuff. Okay.
And I'm from New England. I grew up in Boston. I went to Salem State College at that time. That's Salem State University.
So spooky.
So
I'm here for it.
Actually, Halloween was the worst time of year because
were you close to like where they filmed Halloween Town?
Yeah, it's literally right across the street.
Oh, that's
nice.
So fun.
Yeah, me and my friends used to like sneak into it and sneak into abandoned buildings and houses and
Man,
stuff.
that sounds like my dream childhood.
Yeah.
It was fun and terrifying. It was the best. But so it's set in 1666 and it's kind of similar to like Salem witch trials, and so I'm looking forward to it. And a couple other things that are being released on Netflix is a documentary called "This Changes Everything," which is kind of like a look into women who've like been on the rise in the film industry. Ooh. And this other one it's a female-fronted action film called Gunpowder Milkshake.
Oh, I'm so excited for Gunpowder Milkshake. I think it looks so sick.
Right. It looks tasty. Shoot. Yeah, those are some things that are happening on Netflix. So keep an eye out if you're into female lead roles. I mean, all year this year, women have really been knocking the box offices. I mean, Black Widow, hello.
Right.
Cruella, hello.
My husband's going to be excited about the Twilight movies coming on Netflix because he is Loki a Twihard. Oh, absolutely. I've only seen the first one, and I rented it when I was single in college. And I remember getting Chinese takeout and a bottle of wine and being like, let's see what all the fuss is about. I like Buffy. I'll like Twilight.
Oh, no.
It wasn't my thing, Hayley. I'm sorry.
No. I have a love-hate relationship.
Yeah, I'm not going to like talk crap about it. I don't know.
I have a love-hate relationship with Twilight in that I love to hate it. So I read all of the books, which were actually recommended to me by a guy when I was in college. He was like, you need to read these. And I was like, okay. And now I wonder what he was on. So I read all of them. And my problem was I was like hardcore team Jacob. And if you're familiar with the plot at all, Jacob just really gets screwed over. And the whole ending of the series really, really let me down. So I actually only saw the first 2 movies, but I'm really excited to watch the rest of them because, one, I love terrible movies. I binge watched all of the Fast and Furious movies over quarantine. So Twilight is actually like next on my bad movie saga to watch. And 2, it actually has a lot of really awesome people in it. Like Lee Pace is in the last movie. And anyway, the cast is actually really cool. So it's cool to see like Robert Pattinson before he was good at stuff.
That's what Andrew keeps telling me, the husband. He's like, so he started seeing the Twilight movies when he was with his ex-girlfriend. And then when we got together, he would go by himself to watch the rest because he justified it as, well, I have to see how it ends. And I'm like, do you though? You go have fun. Or like he went with like one of his guy friends to go watch it like on a man date. And he came back with all these plastic theater cups that had like all the characters on it. But he came back, he's like, the action scenes were pretty cool, actually. I'm like, again, were they though?
Yeah, that's never an excuse when the books have already come out to say, I need to know how it ends.
I need to know.
You can just Google it.
Oh, he didn't read it. Yeah, right. Go to the wiki page, babe. You don't need to go see these movies by yourself.
On to another streaming service. The preview for Disney Plus's Loki is out. Did any of you guys get a chance to see it? I haven't, but I heard it got released.
I haven't watched the season.
You're talking about the preview for What If?
Oh, it's What If?
Yes.
Yeah, because Loki's only has 1 episode left.
Yes. Oh, yeah. So, it was a preview for the season finale, or at least for the series finale.
Yeah. So, obviously, the Loki series finale, which I can't believe that there's only 6 episodes of this show because I feel like it just went by so fast. It really
did.
But unlike WandaVision, they're talking, at least there have been talks that there's going to be another season of Loki, which would be a game changer because right now where it stands, it's hard to see where his story is going to go from here. Because on the one hand, I would think he's going to be in Multiverse of Madness alongside everybody else.
Yeah.
But if you look at already who's supposed to be in Multiverse of Madness with Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch and apparently Spider-Man and different things, like that just seems too much to me unless it's going to be like an Avengers level movie and literally
like
just
Civil
bring in everybody.
War, they had everybody in there.
Yeah. So, and maybe, but he could also go on to be in Love and Thunder. And join back up with Thor there. So I don't know, but who's to say who the villain is going to be in the finale?
I have an idea.
Okay, what's your theory?
My theory is that it's going to be a Loki. And that his final, redemption arc through this series is going to have to be facing the darkness within himself. So we've all been saying it's going to be like Kang the Conqueror or something. But like, I feel like to me and you, Hayley, that would be sick because we know who that is.
Right.
But to somebody who doesn't know who that is watching this show, maybe they're just getting into this Marvel, the MCU, they don't really know the comic villains. They're like, who the hell is that? Why? So I think it's going to be a Loki. I think that he's going to have to face himself finally, and that'll be his final redemption,
That's
so
an
to
interesting
speak.
theory. Yeah. I mean, it would track because so far it's been all about the different variants of Loki. So to have 2 variants face off against another one, that would be interesting. Kate Herron.
Is she Sylvie?
She's the director of Loki. And she tweeted out that we all know who is in the castle. It's Mickey. And so, but I don't know.
Sees all.
I can see that too because WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier, they're pretty much about just like the battle with oneself. And I mean, I feel like Loki, it's all over. I mean, I haven't really completed watching Loki, but I kind of get that feeling from it.
And how many times in WandaVision were people like, it's going to be Mephisto. Yep. It's going to be Mephisto. Yep. It's going to be Mephisto. And then it wasn't. It was friggin' Agatha all along, right? So, yeah, I could totally see that. I do also, though, still think it could be Victor Von Doom. If they are going to introduce a villain that is fairly well known, because the Fantastic Four movies came out years ago. Even if people didn't read comics, they're at least a little familiar with who Von Doom is. But I think that's just wishful thinking on my part, because
and that would introduce the Fantastic Four into the MCU.
Yeah, it's true. So we'll see. But I'm super excited about the Loki finale. And by the way, I just did my budgeting yesterday and I added up all of my streaming services. I know it's gross.
Sounds
it's
like
adulting.
an adult thing to me now.
But
Boring.
Disney Plus is the lowest. Like, we pay next to nothing for Disney Plus, and it brings the absolute best content. I realized I was paying like $18 a month for HBO Max. And I'm like, what am I doing?
But then they have you pay like $50 a month for new movies that come out.
True.
Ugh, I know.
True.
But like the series are all like MCU level produced. Yeah. So, I mean, and The Mandalorian, obviously, Star Wars movie level produced. So
it's true. Yeah. Really, you get your bang for your buck when it comes to Disney Plus. I just am anticipating, knowing Disney, that like next year they'll be like, prices are raised to $27.
Right. Absolutely.
Anyway.
It'll get there.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Hayley the Brave. Teacher and mom by day, cosplayer and pop culture junkie by, well, also by day. I'm obsessed with all things fandom, and I love to talk about it. So join me and some of my friends as we geek out about TV, movies, music, and all the awesome things that make life worth living. Listen to my podcast, 30 Nerdy and Thriving, available now on all major streaming platforms.
Let's move on to Pop Culture Junkie Podcast official Pop It or Drop It reviews. You know, where if we like it, we pop it, and if we don't, we drop it. And sometimes we're unsure what our emotions are, so we kind of just we just toss it back and forth like a hot potato. Actually, I'll start quick. I watched this one movie, Meet the Blacks 2, The House Next Door.
Was there a Meet the Blacks 1?
There was.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
just checking.
I watched it. I watched the first one. I liked the first one. It's not like it's just dumb comedy, you know? It's kind of like that scary movie, like Wayne Brothers kind of franchise. And so this one stars Mike Epps, Cat Williams, Michael Blackson, Gary Owen, you know, a bunch of funny people in a very not funny movie. And I knew it was going to be dumb. I knew there was going to be just stupid things going on, but it's just so bad. Like, the jokes aren't even funny.
It's like stupid can be funny. Stupid movies
like Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Stupid funny, yeah.
No, this was just stupid. And so for that, I'm going to go ahead and drop Meet the Blacks 2, The House Next Door.
And if someone doesn't want to watch this, where is it? What streaming service?
Just don't go to the movies.
Okay.
Just stay home or watch Black Widow or something else.
That's funny. Yeah, I never heard of that.
So I have to talk about a show that I binged, okay? So how do I start? There was a viral TikTok that was going around. Nicole already knows.
Yeah,
that showed a scene from this show. And let's say you were supposed to watch the TikTok and show it to your friends and record their reaction. The show is called Sex Life or Sex/Life. And it is basically softcore porn, you guys.
Like, is this on Netflix?
Yes,
I see the previews for it all the time.
The most explicitly sexual television show I have ever watched. It has full frontal male nudity, which is what the TikTok is. You're supposed to like watch your people's reactions to looking at this man's
oh gosh, I hope like my nieces haven't found that on TikTok. Yikes.
It's a very well endowed shower scene, and there's a debate if it's a prosthetic used or not. I'm team no prosthetic.
This gives me Friends vibes. So, it's Play-Doh.
Oh my God. So basically it's about this housewife who, oh my God, she's got it all. This super hot husband who loves her, beautiful children, a house, like a mansion basically. And she can't stop fantasizing about her super hot ex-boyfriend.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. And so she writes in her diary about all of the ridiculously hot sex that they used to have when they were together. Her husband reads the diary and gets very jealous. And so begins this who's she going to choose love triangle between staying with her wonderful husband who has done nothing wrong in this entire show to deserve the treatment this poor man is getting? Or do I run back to my ex with the huge personality?
Wait, so does she want to go back with her ex, or is it just a fantasy?
I'm going to just... The ex starts texting her. He sends her pictures of his personality. I'm going to say I'm hot potatoing this show because if you are looking for a show where characters make decisions that make sense, where the main character is a likable person and in the end of it, she makes choices that go, you know what? I would make that choice. Drop this show and don't watch it. Okay? I was so mad. But let's say you really were into the, what was that, Whips and Chains?
50 Shades of Grey. As you were talking, that's what I was saying. I go, okay, wait, bored housewives love 50 Shades of Grey, so they probably like this too.
If your husband is at work, now I'm just thinking back to myself, and you have the day off and you think, let's see what this is. Oh, cracks open another White Claw. Okay. Then I would pop it. But honestly, the sex is so gratuitous in the show that by the end, I wasn't even into it anymore. I was just like, oh man, they're doing it again. Come on.
I read an article that show is based on a true account. The lady who made the show or something, it's based on a real diary.
Well, she's a terrible person. She's had some wonderful sex. I'll give her that. She's a terrible person. Drop it if you want plot. Pop it if you want some hot, steamy sex scenes.
Interesting.
All right. That's a good way to put it.
NC-17.
Yes, it's very gratuitous.
Well, in my absence, I took some time to binge watch a few shows that people have been talking to me about for a really long time, and I've heard so much about, but I just never got around to watching. One is Kim's Convenience.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that's so good.
It's really, really good. Definitely pop it. It's a Canadian sitcom about a Korean family who owns a convenience store, and just kind of what it's like. They've got 2 kids, and it's kind of what it's like being, the children of immigrants. And I kept seeing it recommended for people who like Schitt's Creek. If you liked the family dynamic and you like kind of the quirky comedy, then check out Kim's Convenience. And so I love it. It's so, so funny. We just finished the 3rd season. I've read some things that say it kind of doesn't end on a great note, and they weren't really planning on ending it when they did. And
was it canceled?
Yes, but it wasn't so much canceled as it was the producers walked away from, or the showrunners walked away, and so they felt like they shouldn't keep going with the show. But then a bunch of stuff came out where the cast had said some of the writers were overtly racist in some of the plot lines they were coming out for. So it kind of ended on a really sour note, which is unfortunate. But it's really, really funny and definitely worth watching. And it's got Simi Liu, who is Shang-Chi. He's the main,
nice.
Yeah, he's the main guy. So that was really cool. And then the other show is The Crown, which I feel like the only person on the planet that didn't watch The Crown until now.
I have not, but you know what? After all the Emmy nominations, maybe I will.
So here's the thing. Kept getting nominated for Emmys. Everyone and their mom talks about how great it is. Gillian Anderson comes in later seasons, and she's my homegirl. So I was like, I gotta watch this. But it is so, I watched the first episode and I was like, this is very long and dry and kind of boring. And I couldn't get into it. And I could not care less about the British royal family. If you ask me anything about British, I was like, no, I don't care. But I was like, I don't want to miss out on this cultural phenomenon. So I was like, I'll give it 3 episodes. And by the 3rd episode, I was like, hooked.
Really?
Totally in. Matt Smith plays Prince Philip, and Claire Foy plays Queen Elizabeth in the first 2 seasons. And just the British royal family is a mess.
Oh, so this is the actual British royal family.
It's based on them,
wow.
Yeah, so it starts in the late 40s, early 50s when Queen Elizabeth first takes her reign. And it gets very what's the word I'm like? Dramatic, contemptuous, very, very stressful. You're watching it and you're kind of biting your nails because you're like, what's going to happen? Even though I know it's history and I can just Google what's going to happen.
Don't spoil it for yourself. Don't Wikipedia this.
But I just finished the end. I just wrapped up season 2. And so all the way pop it. It is worth all of the praise that it is getting. And if you find yourself like me, bored with the first episode, just give yourself a minute. Keep going. And then the other two things I'll just talk about real quick. One is that show Kevin Can F Himself with Annie Murphy.
Oh, I've been dying to watch that.
Speaking of Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to hot potato this one.
Okay.
Because it is like, it shifts from like a comedic sitcom, like a goofy comedic sitcom, to like a very serious drama that's like about murder and drugs and affairs and all craziness.
3 of my favorite things.
There you go. But it provides zero explanation as to why that shift is happening, like why it's going in
like,
and
is
out.
this in her imagination?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know. And I think sometimes the comedic portion, it just draws you out of the drama. So you're getting sucked into the drama and then you're kicked back into this weird little King of Queens type sitcom. And so I don't know. I'm going to give it this season and see how it ends.
Where have you been watching it? Because that's been my problem. And I can't even find where to, if I wanted to see it.
We watched it on the AMC app.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And usually you'll have to wait until like the next day or whatever to watch it. But yeah.
Nice.
And then the other thing that I've been doing is getting back to my roots and reading some comic books. And I just checked out the Radiant Black comic, which is new in 2021. And absolutely pop it. It is about a middle-aged dude. I say middle-aged. He's like 30. He's like younger than me. He's like younger than me. I know. But he moves to LA to try to make it as a writer, fails, gets all sorts of debt, has to move back in with his parents. And throughout that process, he inadvertently becomes a superhero.
Oh, hell yeah.
So, yeah. And it's written by, I want to say Kyle Higgins, who wrote a bunch of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers comic books. And it's kind of based on his story a little bit of like overcoming bullies as a kid and finding his passion in, superheroes and kind of being a nerd. And so
did he just find out one day he had superpowers or?
No, you got to read it. I'm not going to tell you. You got to read it. Check it out. But yeah, it comes out monthly. So we're in July. So they're up to the 7th issue right now. So,
oh, dope.
Yeah.
I'm here for the monthly release. We were just talking about how expensive buying single issues gets every week. It's like every Tuesday or whatever, we were dropping just like $100.
Yeah.
Can't do it anymore.
Yeah, it's too much. Yeah, that's one of the things that sucked me in was A, monthly release, and B, new original story. Like jumping into DC and Marvel, sometimes
where do I start?
Yeah, it's really overwhelming. But this is brand new, original. You could have never read a comic book before a day in your life and jump into Radiant Black.
Yeah, that's a really good reason to start.
Yeah.
I'm into it. But as we mentioned, we went to the movies recently and watched Black Widow. And I definitely want to get your thoughts on it. I want to start with Nicole because this is the first time Nicole has watched an MCU movie. Yeah. And I kind of want to know what you feel about it.
I loved it.
Word.
Yay!
I loved it. I felt like it was a great movie, like you said, to start out with, because for me, it was easy to follow along. There's some parts I was kind of confused on when they would mention the other people, like Captain America and stuff like that. I was like, okay, maybe I need to get some background information on that subject to understand what's fully going on. But from the beginning to the end, it all came together. It was all full circle, and I was totally able to understand it all. And I was hooked the entire time. There was pigs in it, so I was very happy about that.
Pig lover.
I was happy about that. And hint, hint, they did not die. So you'll get that if you've seen the movie, you'll understand my reference.
Yeah. A little bit of Black Widow spoilers coming up in case anybody hasn't watched it yet.
But
right?
we'll
try to keep it mild. But yeah.
Okay.
It was only pigs. That's literally nothing part of the movie, but it's not a big deal. And so now I'm kind of wanting to start from the beginning and watch all the movies since I have that Disney Plus account, but I just got to find time because I work 5 days a week, plus have this podcast and stuff. So,
I mean, I know Shauna tried starting them over. Are you even still doing that?
Yeah. We're up to Age of Ultron will be our next one. So we just watched Guardians. Yeah, so we're still doing the rewatch. We're watching it in release date order. I feel like we're all going to have to discuss off air how Nicole should watch these.
Yes,
if she should watch them in chronological order or in release date order. But I really liked Black Widow as well. My only qualm is that I wish we had gotten this movie 6 years ago. Like, I feel like there wasn't a whole lot of stakes in it. Because
it's set after Civil War.
Exactly.
And we really should have gotten it right after Civil War.
Exactly.
But because we know what happens and where her plot goes, there's not a lot of...
So, like, when she's in mortal danger and I'm like, is she going to fall off and die? I'm like, well, no, she's going to be fine because her story, this is a prequel. Yeah. So it kind of removed a little bit of the stakes for me. And because spoilers in 3, 2, 1, she dies in the future. So it's like.
Well, and like what was weird too is like when she dies in Endgame, there's that whole.
Is she the one that fell to get the soul?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So when she dies in Endgame, she sacrifices herself for Clint.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, like, she's like, you're the one with the family, which still, he's the one with kids. He's the one, like, still.
As if having children is the only way you can have a family. But
right.
Rand.
Right. But, like, she could have even said, like, you're the one with little kids who are counting on you, or the one that has to, you know.
She has a family too.
But she has a family too, and she's like, you're the one with the family. And then not only that, but then when she dies, Cap's like, we were her family. And so it implies that she never told anybody about her other family.
Shoot, you're right. I didn't even think about that.
And she might not have. She might not have ever said anything about it.
It'd be so hard to retcon that at this point, though.
But, but it just makes no sense to me that she would, like, not tell Clint or not tell Cap.
Yeah.
Or not tell Banner.
Sick vest, where'd you get that? Oh, I bought it. I bought with this vest, Steve.
Yeah. Oh, man. So I don't know. That stuff kind of like you said, had we gotten this movie before and they took all that stuff into consideration in Endgame, it also would have made her sacrifice more tragic because we knew that she was sacrificing a family, that she did have a little sister, and that she was willing to give that up for Clint and for the rest of the Avengers and for the world. Like, I don't know. So
I agree. And it always kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And I mean, obviously, Tony's death was super tragic, but he got this big funeral scene at the end. And they were just kind of like, Natasha died. That sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
man. So messed up.
Where is Natasha's big, beautiful
And it makes
funeral?
it worse now that we've seen Black Widow and now that we know like everything that she went through. And
But I really did like the movie. I do think that they're building up for her sister to become the next Black Widow. And then obviously, if you stuck around for the after credit scene, you know, we're going to be seeing her sister in the Hawkeye series. So
speaking of Hawkeye, I literally, after the movie, I turned to Alex and I'm like, did they say hot guy? Like H-O-T guy?
No, this is a true
I was
story,
like,
guys.
he is
This
not
actually
hot
happened.
at all. I was like, no way is that his name. Then they're like, no, Hawk.
no,
I'm
his
like,
superhero
makes
name is
so much more
Hawkeye.
sense. And I know we talked about him before on the podcast, and you always talked about him, and I was like, I always thought you said hot guy too. I wasn't questioning it. I'm like, of course, Shauna's talking about the hot guy on the podcast.
This is the
What's
hot
new?
guy.
But
his power is just that he's super freaking hot.
So that's
God, we can't beat him. Look at he's so hot.
And you touch him and you burn.
that's about as believable as like his ability with arrows, though.
Yeah.
So I could see it.
I mean, Jeremy Renner's a
Yeah,
good-looking
I
guy.
kind of like
cute.
him. I like his like ruggedness. Like I like because like Captain America and like he's like too pretty. Like I don't know. I feel like
I love the heroes that are just people. That's what I love about Black Widow.
Yeah.
It's what I love about Hawkeye. I love the heroes that don't have a superpower. Like they're just super awesome. Like and that
Tony
like,
too, honestly.
Yeah, totally. They're my favorite. That's why when people are like, you know, were you Team Cap or Team Iron Man? I'm always going to be Team Iron Man because as much as I love Cap,
I was Team Cap.
he had a serum, bro.
yeah.
So I can't get a serum,
But
I
have you
can
considered
be a billionaire.
that body?
We actually just went back and watched the first Avenger on the 4th of July. And that scene, man, with Hayley Atwell as Peggy Carter touching his abs for a second when he comes out of that thing, I was like, I don't blame you, girl.
Right? She's like, I have to touch the text. I have to.
You know, I noticed that Marvel does a lot of those like body shots because actually I watched it again with Brie and we noticed that there were some butt shots of Black Widow. And I mean, I wasn't bothered by it.
This is something I want to talk about, actually. I read this really interesting article. If I find it again, then I'll link it in the Pop Culture Junkie support group. But it's kind of the evolution of Black Widow's character. So when she starts out in the MCU, there are a ton of those ass shots, right? Literally, she shows up and Tony goes to Pepper and goes, I want one. Like she's an object. She's a sexual object. All of her movie posters, she's doing that pose that is so impossible where you show your boobs and your ass in the same, like the uncomfortable body twist. And so I feel like her arc in the MCU was just so beautiful. And I mean, it just comes to say like a long way that women are being portrayed in movies, especially like action movies, that she's not an object anymore for people to want one, you know?
It's also what happens when you remove Joss Whedon from the equation and you put in like Jack Schaefer and people that are, you know, actually have the best interests of
Are there
their
other
cast.
superheroes? I thought, because I remember Captain America's butt being such a popular thing.
That's still a thing. That's an end game,
That's
isn't
a meme
it?
for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, and I absolutely, there's gratuitous male, like,
of course.
everyone needs their Marvel shirtless scene if you're like, but it's just, I don't know. I loved that she was, and I think you're right. It's the Joss Whedon effect. Like in Age of Ultron, she's a monster because she can't have babies.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It was nice to see the evolution there.
Yeah, I really loved, I gotta give a shout out to like the supporting cast in Black Widow. Obviously a lot has been said about Florence Pugh and like just how she killed it. And a lot of people said like she kind of stole the show a little bit, which
I agree.
Sure.
I think so too. But she was also new. So that made sense that she kind of would. But I love David Harbour.
Yes.
I love him. I am such a huge David Harbour fan.
It's the Red Guardian, right?
Yeah, the Red Guardian. He's so funny and
he's
so
so
like,
good.
I didn't expect him to be so stupid and just really, really dumb and just kind of the like Homer Simpson of the crew.
Oh, he totally was.
But
Homer Simpson.
I loved it. And I am like dying for more Red Guardian content. Like I want a spin-off with him and Rachel Weisz, like raising pigs. I don't know.
That'd be great. Yes,
Me
I
too.
love
I'll
this.
Watch that.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll
I
watch it
agree. I
over
love
and over.
David Harbour. I'm super excited for Stranger Things next season.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, Black Widow, I agree. I'm assuming we're just going to recommend a Pop-It review for Black
Pop-It
Widow.
for sure.
Yeah. And the thing too about Black Widow, it made me realize how much I miss MCU movies
Yeah.
and how I'm kind of over the Disney Plus MCU series. Like I mentioned, like I kind of stopped watching Loki because I started getting bored. I think it's just because, you know, it's happening all the time every week. I started getting bored of the series in the middle of Falcon and Winter Soldier. But like the anticipation and just the like, movie experience even I feel is so much better for Marvel than the series.
Yeah. That kind of reminds me of like when WandaVision came out. It was the first streaming series. It had been so long. We'd all been in lockdown.
Yeah.
It was this like massive treat, this like massive just surprise.
Everyone united around. It's like the thing that we all needed after such a crap, year and a half. Is like, oh, now everybody's watching WandaVision.
Right. Yeah. Even people who hadn't even watched Marvel stuff before were tuning in. Like my mom watched WandaVision and was like, I don't know what's going on, but here I am. And so I think though now that movie theaters are open again, that movies are coming out, I think you're right. There is a little bit of that, like there's just less kind of urgency surrounding the series. And I know, all of us hardcore Marvel fans are still left behind being like, Loki's the best. And speaking, I want a Mobius series, but that's neither here nor there.
On his jet ski.
Oh my gosh, dying for it. But a lot of other people have kind of, they've moved on. And so here's hoping we get that No Way Home trailer like at some point before.
Oh my gosh, I want it so bad.
Yeah, same.
I just want to be confirmed if it's really going to have Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, because all the like links that I find about it are all those like gossipy nerd websites that are just like
also said Mephisto was the villain in WandaVision.
Right.
Yeah,
it's just like
not reliable.
This is what's going on. That's not true. That's just
And
that's
honestly,
a rumor.
if that were true, I don't even think they'd preview it in the trailer. I think it would be a surprise. But yeah, that would be dope. All right, well, yeah, let's wrap this thing up. It's been dope seeing you guys in person, first time recording.
I know, we all actually get to look at each other.
Shout out to Olympus Games for having us here and making this our home. We really appreciate it, and I'm just happy to be coming here every week now to spend time with you guys and chit chat. But yeah, let's go along and share some of our social links and let the listeners know where to find you.
You can find me, Nicole, on Instagram and TikTok at Nicole_Eldridge and on Twitter at NAEldridge14.
You can find me, Shauna, at Shauna Trinidad, ShaunaTrinidad on Instagram and Twitter.
And you can find me, Hayley, on Instagram at 30NerdyThriving and on Twitter at 30NerdyPod. And of course, on my podcast, 30 Nerdy and Thriving, catch the final 3 episodes of that podcast wherever podcasts are sold.
Yeah, and you can find me, Alex, at alcasnun, that's ALCASNUN on Twitter and Instagram, or you can find me on Rapchat at ALX, that's AL-X.
She's got her
A little Rapchat. A little Rapchat plug there. But you can find us at pop.culture junkies on Instagram or pop junkies on Twitter. You can visit us online at popculturejunkies.com, where you can find pop culture updates, merch, and links. Feel free to join our support group on Facebook. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and review wherever you listen to podcasts. Until then, we'll catch you next week for another dose of pop culture.
Pop Culture Junkie is a production of Pop Culture Entertainment Group. All rights reserved.